Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing something a little different. I'm going to be reviewing Rumours by Fleetwood Mac 42 years later. This is probably my favorite album of all time, and I think that the music that they made back then is still relevant today. Also, the story behind it is honestly one of the most fascinating things ever. I will get into a lot of it in a moment, so let's keep going. Now, the album Rumours was released on February 4th, 1977. It was their 11th studio album, but I believe it was their second album that included Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks. The other members in the band at this time are Mick Fleetwood, Christine McVie, and John McVie. I think it's McVie. And this album is crazy. So they started making this album around February of, I think, 1976, and it was a very tumultuous time for the band. Lindsey and Stevie were together and they were experiencing a breakup. Christine and John were in the process of getting a divorce, and Mick also was in the process of getting a divorce from his wife Jenny. So basically, the band wasn't in a good place. And instead of breaking up the band, they decided to create this album despite it. Despite breaking up, despite being a train wreck, basically. So they spent about 15 hours a day in the studio together. I saw something where Stevie Nicks said that, when you break up with someone, you don't see them the next hour or the next day. And in her case, her and Lindsey had to see each other the next day, and then the next day, and the next. And it was very uncomfortable. And Christine said that while her and John just wouldn't talk to each other that much, Stevie and Lindsey would just fight. And this began the album of Rumours, where they were all writing about one another and their breakups, and recording those songs about each other with the person that they wrote the song about. Which, that's the most fascinating part to me, is the fact that you can write a song bashing the other person, and that person has to be there with you as you're recording it. On the original album, we have 11 tracks. I'm going to be talking about those 11, plus the other 2 that was added onto the Super Deluxe version, I think maybe in 2004, and we'll go from there. So, how am I going to review this? I'm going to go through each song, and I'm going to talk about the backstory, who wrote it, and then I'm going to say what the best lyric of the song is, and what my favorite lyric of the song is, and then I'm going to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, as in still, the substance of it is still relevant today, and is still a bop, honestly. So let's get started. So the first song on the track is Secondhand News, which was written by Lindsey Buckingham. I don't know, it's not really clear what the song is about. I think that the best lyric in this song is, I know you're hoping to find someone who's going to give you peace of mind when times go bad, when times go rough. My favorite lyric of it is, been down so long, I've been tossed around enough. Oh, couldn't you just let me go down and do my stuff? And I give the song about a 4 out of 10. It's a bop. I love it. But it's not as good as the other songs in the album. And I think that for people my age today and this generation, it wouldn't be popular. It wouldn't be relevant. The next song on the album is Dreams, which was written by Stevie Nicks. Basically, the story behind this was she was alone one night, and she went into this room with a dark, canopy or whatever. I don't know. She made it sound very,
magical and mystical.
and she had an electric piano, and she just went and wrote it in 10 minutes and came back and was like, hi. The best lyric, I think, would have to be, but listen carefully to the sound of your loneliness, like a heartbeat drives you mad, in the stillness of remembering what you had and what you lost. My favorite lyric is, when the rain washes you clean, you'll know. And I give this song about an 8 out of 10 because Stevie Nicks
is a goddess, and I love her, and I'm obsessed with her.
And this song just has the catchiness that I think that any pop song needs today. And I think it still could be a #1 hit today, honestly. So the next song on the album is Never Going Back Again, which was written by Lindsey Buckingham. He said that he had met a girl after Stevie. He doesn't even remember her name now, which is really great. He sat down, he wrote this song with the nice little picking in it, and he said it was about moving on, which is, I think it was really nice. The best line, I think, of the song, and there's not many lyrics in it, is, been down one time, been down 2 times, I'm never going back again. And my favorite is, you don't know what it means to win, because I love the way that it's like, you don't know what it means to win, and then it stops. It gives you a second to really watch that end before he continues the rest of the song. And I give this song a 7 out of 10 because, I mean, yeah, I don't think a lot of people today would really listen to it, but I think that there's something about it that I think would keep people listening to it. I don't know. I think that there's something about it that reminds me of the likes of Harry Styles. The way he writes songs, I think him and Stevie have a similar way of writing styles, which makes sense because Harry and Stevie are like this. But it's very vague, and yet at the same time it's intimate. And I see that a lot through this album, and the reason why it is my favorite album is because it is so intimate. The lyrics, you can tell they can get kind of specific, but they don't get specific enough. And that is what I adore about this album. And this song is one of those examples of it, where he's not saying much. The music has to say half of the story for him. It sounds like little picks of your heart, and it's like, I'm moving on, you know, but I'm still kind of holding on, but I'm never going back again. So it's like, I've been down 1 time, I've been down 2 times, I'm never going back again. And I like the message of this song. The next song is Don't Stop, which was written by Christine. It was written after her divorce from John, and it was about moving forward, which was just like never going back again. The best lyric of this song is, why not think about things to come and not about the things you've done? My favorite is, if your life was bad to you, just think of what tomorrow will do. Now, I have to give this song a 5 out of 10. It is my least favorite song on this album. I don't know, I don't really like the sound of it. I mean, it's classic Fleetwood Mac, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't do it for me, honestly. I don't think it reaches the same height as the other songs in the album. And I understand that this song was like used in the 90s to promote Bill Clinton and whatever, but it just gets on my nerves. Maybe I'm cynical, maybe I just like depressing songs. Next song is Go Your Own Way, which was written by Lindsey Buckingham. So obviously it was about Stevie. It also almost didn't make the album, which is crazy because it is the most popular song on this album, maybe of Fleetwood Mac's career. I remember the days where I was sitting there just watching Glee and watching Rachel sing Go Your Own Way about Corey in the same room. Very Fleetwood Mac style. Basically, now this is what's most fascinating about this song, is the fact that this has the same exact storyline as Dreams, written by Stevie Nicks, as we know, but about Stevie. So you have his side and her side, which is the best part of this album, is you get everyone's side of the story, except for John's, by the way, because he doesn't write a single song on this album. But I digress. So the best lyric is, if I could, baby, I'd give you my world. Open up, everything's waiting for you. My favorite lyric is, "Loving you isn't the right thing to do. How can I ever change the things that I feel?" And I give this song a 9 out of 10. It is still relevant today. It is still popular. I love it. It's wonderful. The next song is Songbird by Christine. She said that it was written for nobody and everybody, but I feel like it's about acceptance of the release of a relationship. Now, the most interesting thing about this song is that it was recorded in an empty theater, and it was only her, some roses, and some champagne set up, and they had hours upon hours to get the song right because it had to be taken once on one take. The best and my favorite lyric is, "And I wish you all the love in the world, but most of all, I wish it from myself." And this song gets a 9.5 out of 10 because it is a beautiful ballad. It is wonderful. You could sing this to anyone, your significant other, your child, your friend, and it works no matter what. And I love that. The next song is The Chain. This song is wild. This is basically, I think, the most defining song of the album, of what it's all about and how they were all feeling. Apparently, it's written by all of them, so the entire song is just pieces that each of them have written, which, judging by the sound and the percussion of the song and the bass, makes sense because it is the most angry sounding thing ever. The best lyric is, "Listen to the wind blow, down comes the night, running in the shadows, damn your love, damn your lies." My favorite lyric is, "And if you don't love me now, you will never love me again. I can still hear you saying you would never break the chain." I give this song a 10 out of 10 for writing, sound, a fucking breakdown. Like that part. And I wanted to add that it's the same here as it was with Never Going Back Again, where it's so intimately vague. And I know that that's a paradox, but it's so true. It's intimate. It's raw. And yet it's so vague. It paints a picture. It paints a story. Except you're the one who's creating the story in your mind. And I feel like that also has to do with the theme, which is rumors about one another. The next song is You Make Loving Fun, written by Christine. It was about Christine's boyfriend at the time during the separation between her and John. And it was really awkward to record this song because John had to participate in a song about his ex-wife's lover. The best lyric of this song is, "I never did believe in miracles, but I have a feeling it's time to try." My favorite lyric is, "I never did believe in the ways of magic, but I'm beginning to wonder why." I give this song an 8.7 out of 10. It's funky. It has that like disco-y feel. It's pop, it's funky, I just love this song all around. I mean, it's not really relevant today. I don't think people would really like it with everything that's out right now, but I think that there's something classic about it. The next song is I Don't Want to Know, written by Stevie Nicks. It was actually written before her and Lindsay joined the band. So, interesting story. We're gonna talk about the song Silver Springs. It was added onto the album instead of Silver Springs. They had finished Silver Springs completely and entirely. And then Lindsay pulled Stevie aside and was like, "We're putting I Don't Want to Know on there instead." And it made Stevie furious, as she should. It was just how long the song was or something. Some kind of bullshit. But I swear, Silver Springs did not get all the love that it deserves. So the best lyric of this song is, "I don't want to know the reasons why love keeps right on walking on down the line. I don't want to stand between you and love, honey. Take a little time." My favorite lyric is, "Now you tell me that I'm crazy. It's nothing that I didn't know. Trying to survive. Oh, you say you love me, but you don't know." I give it a 7 out of 10 because it's wonderful and It sounds happy and is very sad. It is very depressing. It's very like, fuck you. I don't want to know. And you see this line, I don't want to know, repeated in Silver Springs, which I think is interesting that they chose I Don't Want to Know over Silver Springs when they have kind of similar ideas. So it makes me wonder about like how Stevie felt before they joined the band about their relationship. The next song is Oh Daddy, written by Christine. No one really said what this was about. It feels like a push and pull. And I really enjoy that aspect of it. The best lyric of the song is, if there's been a fool around, it's got to be me. And my favorite lyric is, why are you right when I'm so wrong? I'm so weak, but you're so strong. Everything you do is just alright, and I can't walk away from you. Baby, if I could. I give this song an 8.2 out of 10. I think that this song could be relevant today. Honestly, it's a long shot for me to say so, but I think that it's raw. I think that there's something about it that just keeps you listening to it. The last song on the released album in 1977 is Gold Dust Woman, written by Stevie Nicks, and it is written about her relationship and her addiction to cocaine, which is great. I had a bag of cocaine on hand at all times, and it was just passed around. They were like,
instead of caffeine, we had cocaine.
And I was like, great, we love drug use. So the best lyric of the song is, follow those who pale in your shadow. Rulers make bad lovers. You better put your kingdom up for sale. My favorite lyric is, well, did she make you cry? Make you break down, shatter your illusions of love. I give it an 8 out of 10. If it was done by Lord, Florence, or maybe even Halsey, I think that it would be very popular, but not as like a single, just like one of those defining songs of an album. Like Halsey's album, Hopeless Fountain Kingdom, there's a song called 100 Letters. I would never compare the two. I'm just saying that song is a defining song of the album, but it's not recognized as like a big song. 100 Letters is like one of the opening songs. It defines the album by the opening. It defines the album by the closing. Now we're gonna get to the two songs that were not added onto the album until later, until the Super Deluxe release. We have Silver Springs, which is written by Stevie Nicks. It was about Lindsay. They were driving somewhere and she saw the sign for Silver Springs, Maryland. And she said that was a beautiful name for a song. And she said that she wrote it about what he could have been to her, which is heartbreaking. Utterly heartbreaking. I think that the best lyric is, time casts a spell on you, but she won't forget me. I know I could have loved you, but you would not let me. And my favorite is, I follow you down until the sound of my voice will haunt you. You'll never get away from the sound of the woman who loves you. And then you can hear in the background going, was I just a fool? And I have been punched in the throat by Stevie Nicks. That's all I have to say. I give the song a 9.5 out of 10. It is wonderful. The lyrics are incredible. Now, the last song I will be talking about is Keep Me There. It was a demo, and it really wasn't a full song. I'm pretty sure it was written by Christine. I don't know. This song has a lot of lyrics in it, and it's not long, but it does have the bass line for the chain. And I think that what happened was that she wrote this song, and then whoever plays bass, I forgot, came up with that bass line, put it on Keep Me There, and then realized they could use it for the chain. So they never actually finished the song, but I still think it's a good song. The best lyric of it is, don't leave me in the dark, I need you here with me. And my favorite lyric is, you know that I'm trying to be, a little bit strong. I give it a 6 out of 10 just because it wasn't finished. I think it could have been a really fascinating song. I say that the best song instrumentally is The Chain, just because of that bass line. I will never shut up about the bass line because it's
Wonderful.
Now, I say that the best song lyrically is Gold Dust Woman. None of the other songs have the same depth that Gold Dust Woman is. I think Gold Dust Woman is a lot more personal. I think that the best song vocally has to be Songbird. Hands down, that was done in one take. How do you beat that song? I mean, it's just her and a piano. It's brilliant. That being said, I think that the best song on the album is The Chain. It defines the album. It's the most raw form of anger I have ever heard in a song. The last song I heard that was really representative of anger was This Is America by Childish Gambino. I know that is a far stretch from Fleetwood Mac and the story that it's saying now. I'm comparing how it expresses anger and frustration. If anger was made into a song, it would either be The Chain by Fleetwood Mac or This Is America by Childish Gambino, and I will stand behind that for the rest of my life. Those are the complete opposite genres of one another, and I am glad I am saying it. And my concluding thoughts is my favorite song on the album, which is Silver Springs. After I first heard it about a year ago, I listened to it on repeat, and when I went to college back in August of last year, I went through some stuff, and Silver Springs, again, was there for me. It's like what you could have been to me. It's just one of those songs that really just can help you move on. It feels like that song was written for me. Obviously it wasn't. It was written for Lindsey Buckingham. I give this album a 9 out of 10. I think there's room for improvement. I think that Silver Springs should have been on the album. I think that Keep Me There should have been finished, should have been redone. I think that this album is one of the best of all time. I've always been fascinated with this album because of how the band handled this situation. They could have, because it's like, the Beatles broke up after like 6 to 7 years over what? Fleetwood Mac, on the other hand, all dated one another. They stayed together and they're still friends today and they still perform. I think there's something to be said about professionalism and how you can get through things on a professional level and then get through on a personal level. It won Album of the Year for the Grammys in 1978. They went through all of that to get that award and to have the longevity that it has, to the point where an 18-year-old, where at the time of its creation, I was not even a thought in my mother's mind, it still matters to me, and that is incredible, and that says something about music, and it says something about their writing, their production. So thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I have videos planned, I promise. It's just getting around to it that is the problem. Bye.
I'm that bad type, make your mama sad type, make your girlfriend mad type, might seduce your dad type. I'm the